the NBA, we have hockey, we have NFL Showdown. We're going to deal with all of it. I know it might be a little early, but this is the time I can do it. I know the first NBA game doesn't start till 7:30, but this is the best I can do. I might come in and at least update projections a little bit later, but I just updated them now, and seeing people talk about guys in the Discord that I don't quite understand. People are getting Baisley. Is that what I'm hearing? I'm not getting it. I'm not even having projected. Am I missing something? Are these guys out that did I just like miss something? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna go and just start looking. Hey, I may as well share my screen. What the hell? And this is the first time I'm really looking at it since I updated it. So let me see if anything's really changed. Sorting by point per dollar, it's the same guys that we talked about earlier, with the exception of Trey Mann has moved up the list from where he was before. And also, we see a little bit of, we see some Golden State coming up here. I guess, I'm just guessing. Does that mean that Curry is out? Is that what's happening here? No, he's playing. But all these guys look like they're popping a little bit more. Huh, that's interesting. So I guess these guys are now in play for me. The Draymond, Jordan Poole at 5,900, Clay at 5,600. I guess Clay coming off the suspension, that'd be an interesting, that's an interesting spot. And Keegan Murray remains the top play. But I will say that it's not, well, I was about to say it's not such a smash, but I mean, it really isn't such a smash. The thing is, though, is that there's not a lot of other value. But I do see that between him and Bane, these are the two highest owned. And I guess the reason why Bane, I'm just presuming. No, who's out then? He's just moved up the list. Dylan Brooks is still in. Bane is just showing up as a good play at 35% ownership, though, for, I don't know if it's that great a play, is it? Am I missing it? I don't know. Anyway, they are showing up that way. There's not a lot of pure value on the slate. So just take a look again at the actual players here, and then we got Shea 9,300. I like to sort these by value score as well. And by the way, I want to flex a little bit. I mean, listen, I don't do this too often, but very rarely. But for those of you that followed that had access to the PGA projections or whatever, I mean, I don't. You saw my video. I mean, this is what it was. The top rated value guy on the whole board is actually T1 after the first day, which is pretty cool, right? You get a $7,500 guy. That's T1. That's pretty nice. So we'll see. I mean, obviously a long way to go and a lot of scoring to be done on that slate, but it's pretty good. So it looks as though Luka's the play if you can get him in. But I'm looking at Ja at only I guess 18% ownership. Isn't that worse? Isn't that this what kind you're supposed to do? Like play these kind of lower owned, high upside plays like Morant. Maybe even what's wrong with what exactly is wrong with Kyrie at 7% ownership? I don't know. Maybe he's just not going to be 7%. This is also possible. What exactly is wrong with Steph Curry? Well, I guess he's not really playing. Or is it? I mean, we haven't projected for 34 minutes. I mean, how bad is that? Just trying to find something here. Paul. Okay, so we're waiting on Paul George. Is that the story? Is there any news on Paul George, or he's still considered questionable? Let's see. Get any No limitations on Ben Simmons. That's nice. Paul George expected to play. Okay. So Paul George expected to play. That's probably a pretty good play. And again, if you want to throw a little bit of narrative or whatever, I do think that Shea is I'd probably be inclined to fade him because I went over this earlier. I mean, he like went off on them and they just beat him by 15 the other day. I like to think that the Clippers will come back strong and play some defense and maybe stop Shea from going completely ballistic. So that's probably a little under on him. Ben Simmons shooting is a permanent limitation. Very, very good. Very good, Mr. Adam. Very good. Yeah, I mean, he might end up being someone who's like a play every day who never gets there. They're guys like that. Trey Mann, again, he popped up a little bit. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see what Saberson gives me, and then I'm gonna upgrade all this stuff. Like I'm gonna upgrade, not upgrade. I'm gonna get a little more Dillon Brooks maybe, a little more Simmons maybe. Why was the issue? What was the issue I had with Kyrie Irving? I mean, I don't really have an issue with Kyrie Irving tonight. I don't know what's why no one's playing him. I mean, well, he's just not projecting as well as some of these other guys. But I mean, it's a 4-game slate in the NBA. I mean, anything's possible. Yeah, so let's have some fun. Let's use Saberson. Let's make a build here and see what we come up with. Wait, we have the right slate up? I don't think so. No. So let's oh, it's already in here. So let's build a lineup. Wait, no, this is not it. Let's get the right date. How about that? 27th. Upload. And then again, each day I'm going to hopefully do a Saberson build to maybe answer some questions about how to use this thing. Or more to the point, how I use this thing. I mean, you should, for those of you that really want to use it, I mean, you should also go into the Saberson YouTube channel. They have a lot of, I mean, just hours and hours and days of content on how to use this thing, efficiently. But this is what I'm doing. So all the projections are up in here now, and let's build. I don't know. You want to build 30? Or we'll build 30 lineups with 20 max sliders, and then we'll build 500 lineups. So this is what we get. So when we build first, I'm going to get 100% of Desmond Bane. That's the first thing that I get, and then you get 83% Keegan Murray, and then there's Bam, Simmons, Trey. So the Dillon Brooks looks to be really over the field on that. What you could do is you could check this out. You could sort by leverage and sort by what your like what your exposure is relative to the ownership projection. So it looks like it's Desmond Bane, Keegan Murray, Bradley, Simmons, Brooks. Brooks is Kenrick Williams. We have a full. Looks like we have full 35% compared to sub 10% ownership on him. So that's good. Luke Kennard seems like kind of a fishy play given the fact that Paul George is in. But so the next thing I'd probably do is look at the stacks and see how things are organized. And I actually don't have a problem with any of this. So I was hoping to. I was hoping, but I was worried that I was going to get 4 of one team. So I'm not getting that. So I have no issues with the the stacking rules, so to speak. The only thing that I would have to ask before, you know, just approving this build is whether I want to have 100% of Desmond Bain. More to the point, whether I want to have 100% of anybody. You know, so again, the same thing. There's a couple of ways you can handle this. One thing you could do is manually just reduce your exposure to some amount, you know, and you see this glut around 50%. So what I could do is just manually make him 70. And then if I'm going to make him 70, what did I just do? Where it doesn't big, right? Then I think it's only fair that he still be at least tied to be the highest owned player, right? That's only fair. So I'll make 70 just the cap. So that's definitely one thing I can do. We'll just download these for the time being. Or another way you could do it is you reset these exposures and just go back to the beginning. And instead you can put max exposure 70 this way, and I wonder if the results change. It's just a little different the way the lineups were sift through. So if we do this, I guess this looks a little bit different. And then the other thing I do is honestly just do a sanity check. In other words, like which guys do I not like playing? Like if I got a lot of Kyle Lowry, I probably wouldn't play that much in just for the hell of it. There's Kyle Lowry, only 15%, not the end of the world. So Dorian Finney-Smith, maybe he's just that guy that I just don't like playing. I'm just not in the mood to make that call right now, so probably not. Probably just gonna roll with this. If any guys in here that I particularly don't like, I would notice, but I really don't. One other thing that people, I don't know the answer to this, the question of how many players is a good amount of players to use in a player pool, given how many lineups. I mean, obviously it's slate dependent and all that. I do think it's an interesting question though. So I'm just going to note it for the future. So right now, 30 lineup builds with a 4-game slate. It's giving me 33 total players. So save these. And the other thing I want to try is just for the hell of it. I want to use different sliders. I want to make it 150 max, but still only go for 30 lineups. Just want to see if the lineups look surprisingly different, just for them making that one switch. I mean, if it is, I can't tell. Well, this is interesting. You're getting Tyus Jones. Still 32. You know, I'm not getting any of. I feel like I have to ask if John Moran is out. Oh no, I'm only getting like 6% of John Moran. Wow, that's rough. That's tough. Tyus Jones, that's an interesting one, huh? Playing 3 Memphis guys with no Ja. Well, let's compare that to this one here. We'll see if this other one at 20 max had the same type of deal. Certainly different lineups and 33 players and stack types still look good. Aldama, Bain, Brooks. Those are all cheap. I mean, again, I don't want to mess with the algorithm. I don't want to say stuff like I only want to play 3 guys if what's his name's part of it, Ja. and it's a 4-game slate, and I have to trust that the correlation gods here behind the algorithms know what they're talking about or know what they're doing. So it really comes down to whether I want to play the 20 max builds or the 150 max builds. Well, let's start with this idea. What we're going to do is, I mean, just for no other reason to screw around, we'll do 15 lineups with the 20 max build. This is actually on purpose, by the way. What's going to end up happening? For those of you who are going to follow along, and we're going to do football in a minute, and we'll do hockey also. Sorry. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 15 lineups of the 20 max build, and then we'll go back to the, where is it? Then we'll go back to the 150 max build. We'll do 15 of those. Now, what some of you, well, at least I'm thinking, is, am I going to get any duplicated lineups? Like, how many lineups that were in the 20 max builds are also in the 150 max build? Now, we'll be able to see that when I pull up DraftKings. And then what we're going to do is, if there are dupes, we're going to hand adjust those to give ourselves a little more kind of variance. So I'm kind of hoping that there are some duplications. So let's look upcoming for NBA. Nope, no such luck. But that's kind of interesting, isn't it? That you have completely different lineups. That you have completely different lineups. The 15, the 20 max and the 150 max builds. At least for me. So let me just confirm this is what it was here. This is the 150 max build. This is the 20 max build. Very interesting. I think I'm going to go with that. I'm not playing. I'm not going to play all the box outs and stuff. 4-game slate, but I'm playing one big one, and I'm playing the 150 maxer as well. Let's do the same thing with the hockey. Again, I've uploaded. I mean, I uploaded them 15 minutes ago. I guess the best I'm going to be able to do, I think. And then we have to do we do football, because football we have Julio in, and I don't think the projections have kind of caught up to that yet. So here we go. Same process, sort of. So in hockey, all the projections have been preloaded, and we'll just build 30, and we'll go 150 max. And here's one little trick that I do with hockey, which I'll show you again. I definitely want to be a stickler for correlation in hockey. That's one thing I have to remember to do. I don't want any like 4-2-1s and all this stuff like that. Okay, so here's the deal. I got to see what this is all about. If Marchand is on the IL, is he off the injured reserve or on the injured reserve? That's actually a very important point. Let's see what's going on with where is he? Marchand? Who? Marchand? Why am I getting an injury destination on Saberson? Oh, he's going to return now. Okay, fair enough. So the first thing I would do is, well, I want to go in and sort by EV line, and I want to X out guys that are either in the 4th line and no power play, or the 3rd line and no power play. I don't want especially on a big slate, just pure punts. And it's like for like Lawrence Hylute, right? Just a random guy on the third line with no power play is not somebody I'm going to want. So okay, we didn't get that much of that. All right, excellent. Next thing I want to do is I want to look at my stack types, because I don't want a lot of this bow wow. I don't want 4 O's. So we're going to just basically, well, not even basically, we're going to zero out the 4 O's. And we're going to zero out basically everything except for pure goodness, right? So we'll play some 6s if they show up. I don't even want 5 zeros. I want strong. I want either 6s, 4 3s, or 5 2s. Beautiful. Okay. And the majority of them are 5 2s and 4 3s, which is what I like. Let's go back to players. Let's just make sure that those adjustments didn't screw with this at all. Nope. Wait, what about this guy? This is fine. Okay. And I'll take him once again, like a little sanity check here. Mostly Buffalo and then Boston, whatever. I don't care. That sounds good to me. And this looks good. Now, again, in hockey, it is a good idea. Again, do as I say, not as I do. It's a good idea to check back for line changes and things like that. I just can't support that. But you know, you go to Twitter or whatever and figure out the line stuff. You could tweak on your own. The other thing you could always do, by the way, is just, you know, if you have SaberSim, just continue to refresh the projections as you get closer to lock, and you'll get them. You know, what you'll get a pure set of projections, but you just won't get, you know, the full meat of my work, you know, with aggregating and stuff like that. But oops. And I'll probably go ahead and change my bigger lineup once I'm off of this, but it's at least a good start. Take a look at my exposures here. Just yeah, well, looks about right. Okay, next let's take a look at some at football. I guess I want to call it the big news. I mean, the big news, I guess, is that Julio is in, but I would say, I mean, this would not be the first time that Julio has played and not played that much. So be careful about that. Yeah, they finally got rid of the Giants. Finally got rid of Tony. They've been threatening to do that all year. They've made up injuries. They did all kinds of stupid stuff. So we're waiting on. I really want the Julio. Let me just see if Julio has been updated here. I mean, this projection's a joke, right? I mean, he's got like 3 fantasy points. I got to wait for all this stuff to update. But here's my approach to this game tonight. I am very much interested in the Tampa passing game tonight. They are the most pass heavy team, I believe, in the NFL. They are significantly ahead of expectations. They almost to a fault. I mean, they were getting yelled at for throwing too much last week, even though they were down to Carolina. So I am going to be heavy on this passing game for Tampa. And I'm probably going to have let's take a look at the projections first, okay? Let's just look at the Tampa projections first of all. Godwin and Evans, I mean, these guys are going to be at least one of those in every lineup. And I think that I'm going to have a minimum of 2 receivers from the Broncos, the Bucs also in every lineup. And bless you. And even though Julio is in, I'm gonna use all these guys. Like I'm gonna play Brashad Perryman. I'm gonna play Scotty Miller. And by the way, you guys want to sweat? I was speculating on Julio Jones being out. And so I made a bet at 30-1, Scotty Miller to get the first touchdown of the game. Now that Julio is in, that becomes a little more difficult, but you never know. So if you see Scotty Miller breaking it into the open field for the first touchdown, that's my 30-1. So I'm going to make sure that my lineups are loaded with the Tampa passing game. I mean, I really like that a lot. And the other thing is, I also believe that the defenses are going to be overvalued again, and I'm going to probably fade those. So heading in, that's kind of my overall kind of macro approach is to go heavy on Tampa passing, fade both defenses. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do, and again, this is standard showdown theory, but figure we go through this, is I'm going to be leaving money on the table. And the sweet spot for me is 48.8. That's the max that I will allow. Just again, in the name of whatchamacallit, in the name of uniqueness. So let me just put in a normal projection for Julio here, and then we'll see. Let's put in like 10. Is 10 okay? How about 10? So we'll put in 10, and then we'll I want to run some lineups and see. Wait, I gotta change something else. Let's do this and this. Just change it a little bit, and then we'll run some lineups and see what kind of lineups just kind of get thrown out there. Meanwhile, I'm also looking at the Discord to see Frank Nicolina and Bertans are out. That's not particularly important. So this would actually give me a good amount of Julio if I give him a 10%, a 10-point projection. So we'll take a look at that. But let's just see in general what kind of stuff we're getting here. As far as total ownership goes, let's first look at the flex. Getting mostly Brady, and yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of Godwin, but you know what I'm getting? I'm getting a lot of Fournette too. It's not exactly the game script I want, but I am getting 25% Perryman in this build. I'm getting 10% Cotton. How much Scotty Miller? Because I have to play some 10. 2.5% is just not going to be enough. So again, we're going to talk about how to fix that. We'll also be getting 27% of the Bucs D. So let's see what happens just for the hell of it. If I X'd out the Bucs D, what then becomes of the rest of these lineups? So then, let's look at what happens to captain first of all. Yeah, so Brady captain, I'm only getting about 5%, but again, this is because I'm artificially making this Julio thing like 10 fantasy points. Maybe that's too much. Because when I make 10 fantasy points for Julio, it wants me to be jamming. Also getting about 12% Tucker captain. I just don't think that's the idea. Then you're getting a decent amount of this Isaiah Likely. Not a decent amount, only like 2%, sorry, to the captain. So I have to put 25% of him I'm getting in the flex. Is this because is what's his name considered questionable still somehow? Mark Andrews, and then if he's actually he's expected to play, and this news came in. This news came in at 5:30. So I am gonna do another. Maybe I'll give it like maybe not even 10. Maybe I'll do it now. I'll give another bump to the. I'm gonna redo the projections for the football. I want to make sure that the Andrews news is factored in, that he's actually playing, that I'm not getting too much, Isaiah Likely or Josh Oliver, the usual clowns, so to speak. And before I even run this, I want to make sure that before I even accept this, yeah, I'm getting more of a 6-point projection on Julio now. I guess that makes sense. That sound right though? I guess I shouldn't worry about what it sounds like. So I'm just going to just do this in the background here. Unfortunately, while I'm doing this, it's going to take a full maybe 3 minutes or so, maybe 5 minutes. And I'm not going to be able to see the chat. So hold your questions. Well, you can put the questions in. Don't expect me to see them for about 3 minutes as I just kind of talk through this. I also played a little bit of NBA on Yahoo today. Okay, so that's one model down. So we're going to reset the projections there. I guess that's what we're always supposed to project Julio for is 6 points. I mean, I guess he is only the third option, but hold on. In like 2 more minutes, I'll be able to see the chat. I just have my screen taken up by something else. I had a pretty good day in tennis today, actually. I was pretty close. I had a couple of unique ones that had a chance. Ended up like doubling my money or whatever, but had a shot in a couple of them. Okay. Just 2 more models, then I'll aggregate, and then I will be back to you guys. Sorry. Get some injury news in a minute from the NBA. I shall check on you guys for a sec. US6 average probably a large range. Well, I mean, obviously, the way receivers results distribute is that it's almost never going to get exactly 6, right? This is this guy. And I did a MMA video. I put it up there. What I would say about the MMA slate this weekend is if you do follow my my recommendations, it's probably not the greatest MME week because when I look at the builds that I'm making, given what I liked, it does look to be on the chalkier side. And there's a couple of pivots that I talked about in there, but in general, just the way that lineups just build themselves, the players I like just appear in like a lot of them. That's best I can describe it. So if you're going to build based on what I said, it's really going to be more for 20 max, 3 max, something like that. I would actually recommend that for the lottery in the MMA and MMA, that you probably better off using SaberSim and get like that kind of kooky randomness that creates lineups that don't make sense. Because my view really produces a lot of chalk in this particular slate. Okay, so it looks as though I should be good to go. Let me just run my macro here. See which guys show up at all. I'm not playing Yahoo today in football. So what we'll do is fair is fair. We'll upload. Come on. We'll upload and then we'll share the screen. I mean with the numbers. FanDuel is done. DraftKings should be done. Give me another 2 minutes. Sorry about that. Kyle Rudolph, Justice Hill. I'll pull these up in a second. Hold on. I got to upload them to the site first. NFL Showdown. I'll put it over here so you can see it while I'm doing the rest of it. And then FanDuel Showdown. And here we'll give you a little bit of inside info as we upload it to the site. Not inside info, just to show you how I do this. I just use it through Google Drive. And we'll replace the previous ones. This one. And we are off. Okay, so first let's take a look at it, and then we'll have SaberSim make a build. So we've got FanDuel for 5 players. These are the guys that project. I'm still getting this Josh Oliver, regardless of how little I want to play him. The problem is I'm still not getting really a projection out of Julio because I think one of the sites doesn't project him. So I'm gonna walk that back, I guess. It's kind of difficult. Let me see something. I know what I can do. Let me try something. Let's try this. I want to see if I can get some semblance of a Julio number in here. Let me see. There's Julio. Okay, so let's first of all, let's get rid of this. Okay, so now this is the new one. And we'll go and we'll upload that. And then we should be good to go. Okay. All right. So let's now take a look again. So this Josh Oliver is still showing up, so I'm probably going to have to end up getting to him just on principle. Kyle Rudolph, cheapo, is showing up a little bit. Jalen Darden. So he's a wide receiver who's 200. That, again, if Tulio doesn't get the run, he could be like a Millie Maker winner if, God forbid, he gets in there. So these are the guys I'm kind of interested in. So let's build a SaberSim lineup with the new stuff. And again, I do want to override a little bit with my take on the game. So take a look. Let's exclude the unlisted players, which is, why am I getting 0 on Mike Evans now? Is he out? No. Why? I shouldn't be getting 0 on Mike Evans. This is really messed up. What's going on here? Let's try again. Why am I not? Oh, I know what I did. I think. Oh, there's Evans. Okay, excuse me. So as I was saying, let's build lineups. Let's see what we get. See if we get any. See if we really get any of this Josh Oliver nonsense. Well, first of all, it's going to be Ryan Suckup as my highest owned captain. Bateman, Andrews. It's getting 12% Brady. A whole bunch of guys in the captain spot, including R. White. They are really, and more Brady in the flex than anything else. 25% Buccaneers defense. Boy, oh boy. This is really my decision, right? Should I X out the Bucs defense? And the other thing is, should I don't want to X out Fournette, but, or I can just go with, this is an incredibly ridiculous build. Maybe this is just such a ridiculous build that this is what I should do. I mean, that's certainly. I mean, who's got this? Nobody has this lineup. 25% Bucks is the problem with this build. Not to mention the 20% suck up in the captain. You can always change it, but it just feels like so stupid that it just might just work, you know? We're just going to do this. Screw everybody. Have some faith. Don't try this at home. Let's put it that way. One thing I will do, though, is for the I'm not going to max out my I'm not going to use this as my big buy-in. That's what I'm not going to do. For my big buy, and I think I might give myself a little more. I'll give myself 49.5 in salary at least. Just build 10. Well, we could build 20. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to pick one. Yeah, this is like more logical, something like that. When you get to play Perryman that way. Brady, yeah, that's probably more of a decent. More of a decent 222. Evans, Andrews obviously makes some sense. Not playing what's his name? Lamar certainly is enough to make it unique. We'll just do that. Yeah, that makes sense. That's not winning Millie, so I'm not worried too much about that. As a matter of fact, let me pull that up for a second. I am going to put that one in the Millie Maker just for fun. Brady, Jackson, Perriman, Brady, Evans, Andrews. Get that one. Yeah, definitely. And we'll put that in there, and we should be good to go. Okay, let's see. Any questions? Anything? Whatever. So Marchand in without the. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I had Marchand in anyway. Take a look at any NBAs. Jackson, Powell, George, Batum, Zubac for Clippers. That came in. Paul George will play. We knew that. I guess that's pretty much it. Let me give a quick look ahead at what's going to happen tomorrow. NBA tomorrow. How many games? 11 games tomorrow. Okay, so we have to deal with that. League of Legends is down to the finals, right? The semifinals, just a 2-game slate Saturday. And they're not offering anything for first, really. I mean, 2K for first, $15 buy-in. So you have JDG, T1, Gen G, and DRX. Is that all LCK? Wow. Wow. And there's all kinds of other stuff coming up this weekend. Okay, that should do it. Good luck, everybody. And